Hey everyone, today we're having a look at an older bat. This is the infamous carbon-handled Gray-Nicolls Fusion. This is the first one. These are the ones that Matty Hayden was signed to use, although in reality he actually used a standard cane handle. You can see there the similarity with the most recent Fusions that just finished at GN. You've got that sort of, I don't know, Shaka Zulu style shield look to it. Nice green, very much a low profile. Now the interesting thing about this bat is obviously the handle, but without showing you the handle first, let's talk about some of the benefits of a really light handle. The benefits are obviously that you can get all your weight into the hitting area, which is exactly what they did with this bat. A standard handle which is approximately 3 ounces. Normally bat makers manufacture in the 2.9 to 2.11 sort of region, and those days to manufacture bats like that, because they didn't excessively dry the bats, the only avenue they had was to do scalloping like you'd see on most of those bats from that vintage. You'd see really heavily scalloped bats to try and make the edges look thicker. Whereas this bat, because of the handle technology which is on this side, there was no weight up here, they could put it all into the bat. So if we compare this bat, which a Fusion 1000 is the equivalent of whatever the top of the range bat is today, and you will actually see, look how big that is. That is just fitting through the gauge. The face profile is pretty much on that 5mm. There is some concaving there, but you can see the spine is probably around that 67. And the other thing is it's got a convex profile, which means it's rounded over to give you an enhanced wider sweet spot. So it's a very impressive shape. Let's have a look at the edge size. And for the vintage, 34mm is pretty good. Toe, 25 at the edge, 24, and you can see that style of rounded toe that was popular then, not so popular now. Very nice looking bat for its age. Many grains. I'll attempt to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 I'm guessing. And they run, from what I can tell, at the shoulder, dead straight through the bat. So beautiful willow selection by Gray-Nicolls then. The bat has obviously recently been refurbed, but the owner got this off Gumtree, second hand, hardly used, maybe saw one season, you can see by that toe. So got an absolute bargain on it. But the real reason I want to show you this is hidden under there. Can you see that dark thing there? That is actually the carbon splice.
I'll leave a link in the description to an interesting article, but GN actually had a patent on this type of technology for a long time before. In 2002, Tim Keeley patented the C6 handle and Puma licensed it. Now the MCC were quite happy to let them get away with that until GN dusted off their old patent and bought out this Fusion handle, which replaced the entire splice.
The thing about their particular technologies is they didn't go the full length of the splice on a normal cricket bat, and that was okay with the MCC at the time. But when Gray-Nicolls brought out this bat, which basically had a full carbon fibre handle and splice, which went all the way into the blade, the MCC actually changed Law 6 in 2008 to stop these bats being made. The stiffer the handle, the more power you're getting into the shot, the less energy is lost in vibration or flex. The trade-off is you're feeling a lot more of what's going on with the bat. That is much evident with bats these days, like my own Carbocane C10 handled laver, which this just has a carbon rod about this long bored out of an existing cane handle and the carbon rod added. So by replacing the entire handle with carbon, you've got a much stronger handle. with less flex and more power. The other drawback about the handle technology is that there was absolutely no flex in the handle, so the only place the bat could give was actually around the splice area. So it was not uncommon for the carbon-handled Gray-Nicolls all to break, and there were many of the carbon-handled bats that just simply broke. I was lucky enough that my carbon handle broke 2 weeks before its warranty was out, so I got all my money back, so that was great. Let's have a look at the other side, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. So underneath here, you've got a soft, rubbery style tape. This has just had a new grip applied. And then you've got this rubber stopper here. And if I turn that around, you can see if I can get it out. There you go. That is the carbon handle. What I'll do is shine some light in there, and you can see there's almost a two-piece construction. There's actually some sort of rigid beam runs the whole length of the handle, and it's just hollow inside. Now, the funny thing about these bats, which I always found, was when you tap them up without the stopper on, they made a really hollow sound. Sounded bloody awful. The other thing about the rubber stopper at the end here is it's got a bit of weight in it, so it added a bit of counterbalance. So even though they removed all that weight from the handle, it still picked up pretty well. So this bat in my hands feels between 2.9 and 2.10. So 2.87. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I need to get new batteries. It's 2.87 anyway. So I feel like it's 2.9 to 2.10, and that's just me. I think it would benefit from an extra grip personally, but it reminds me very much of the same issues we had with the MS Dhoni that I recently reviewed, in that the more wood you put away from the hands and the lighter you make the handle, the more you get that sort of heavier feel in the pickup. And also it's synonymous with these convex shapes that they don't really have a light pickup. So that's something to keep in mind when you're purchasing a bat. But it's really lovely for my mate Peter to bring this in, especially such a wicked example of one in for us to have a look at. It's not something that the channel is going to sort of want to do unless it's something really unique. Show these old innovative bats that change the laws of cricket. Starting at the toe. So very typical Gray-Nicolls performance. Really performing in that mid-low to mid area and all the way down to the toe. Really nice grain structure. So before we go, we might as well bounce a ball on this bat, and it's going to make a unique sound which I haven't heard for 10 years or so, but have a real listen to it. So as I get towards the splice, you start to hear that sort of hollow sound. We'll switch to the Dukes now, and you'll hear it much more with the harder ball. There's just no give at all in the handle, and that creates a real weird sensation when you're playing with these bats. Definitely everything you hit stayed hit, but they sort of had a hollow thud to them, which was weird to hear when they really cracked the ball. So there you have it. That is a vintage 2007-2008 Gray-Nicolls Fusion 1000. They were the top of the line. There might have been a Players, I'm not sure. Lovely shape. And there you go.